So, Scotland has qualified to the World Cup, but we're going to go straight back down to the EFL matchday predictions, and it starts right now with Game 17. Hi again, it's me. Today we're doing my EFL Game 17 predictions, and here is how we have absolute banger after banger after banger of games, and in every game is a banger. And like I got today, and I get a chance is a farmer's like today. If you get to be nice, and make sure you subscribe. I'm just trying to get ourselves up to 200 subs by the end of November. If we get up, we're doing 2 months gold. And it no messing up the Thursday night. Now, this game might not go ahead due to how cold it is, the temperatures, because you all know it's quite Peter taking Stockport now. Whoo, that's a really good game to watch. Really, I don't know if this game could go ahead due to the weather temperatures, and it could be a frosted pitch at Peterborough, but who knows really. But I remember Peterborough's last game, they hit 5 past AFC Wigan in Luke Williams' league debut, and Stockport got battered by Luton 3-0, sadly, at Edgley Park. So Peterborough, this could be a big chance to beat Stockport here, and I think it's going to happen here. They're keeping a clean sheet as well. A 2-0 win to Peterborough for this one. And then to the Friday night now. Preston taking on Blackburn now in the Lancashire derby. Whoo! That was a good game to watch, really. Last minute, it was a very tight game. I think that Blackburn won 2-1, but it was a very tight game to watch. But yeah, it's really quite tight. It's going to be quite tight on a Friday night. Yeah, one team lost 2-1. Sadly ended, and it sadly got their winning run ended by Derby. And Preston are, after fourth, being a dark horse, and it's going to be a very tight game to watch, really. It's going to be very tight. I think a 2-1 win to Preston for this one. Their dark horse story is going to continue. Then to the 12 for the lunch and kickoffs now, with Coventry and West Brom now. Woo! Coventry beating Stoke 1-0. Who is stopping them? Who is going to stop Coventry this season? Could it be Ipswich? Could it be Ipswich? Or could it be Middlesbrough? Who knows? Who bloody knows? Or could it be Wrexham? Who knows? Yeah, as I was saying, West Brom are in the bottom half, but they're 14th. Being Oxford 2-1. Happy days for West Brom, even though that was 2 weeks ago. But yeah, it's a really good game to watch, really. But sadly, Coventry, like always, I think they'll beat another team here. They're going to beat West Brom here. I think a 2-1 win to Coventry for this one, but West Brom will pull off a good fight. And Charlton going to start them now. Ooh, both teams came from 2 separate divisions last season, and if one came from the League One playoffs and one came from the Premier League with 12 points in the Premier last season. And Southampton has collected the back-to-back wins for the first time since March 2024. Oh my days, that is how long it's been. Absolute mental it is for Southampton winning back-to-back for the first time in a while, and yep, could they go for 3 wins in a row? But Charlton lost 1-0 to Wrexham 2 weeks ago after penalty. It could have been 0-0, but Charlton opened their mouth and just went bam on Wrexham, and then that's ended up being a penalty for Wrexham, and there bam. But it's gonna be a very tight game to watch, really. It's gonna be a tight game, and it's gonna be a 1-1 draw at Charlton, but it'll be a very tight fence. Into League One now, where Port Vale took on Plymouth now. Ooh, this could be interesting to watch. Both teams came on 2 separate divisions last season, one from Championship, one from League 2, and they're both in the bottom 4. And Plymouth is concerning. I am so surprised that Tom Cleverley has not been sacked yet. But if they lose, it's going to be a sack for Tom Cleverley, sadly. And sadly, I think we have to face the truth. It could happen here. But it's going to be a 1-1 draw at Port Vale. It's going to be very, very tight. I could tell. In the Gillingham on Barnet now. Yeah, that Kent for Gillingham. Yeah, Gillingham up to 7th, despite drawing 2-2 to Crawley. And Barnet drawing 0-0 to Cambridge. So it's their 3rd draw in a row for Barnet. And yeah, it's going to be a very tight game to watch, really. But yeah, Gillingham are unbeaten in 2 since Gav Ainsworth came back. But he's not at the stands. He's not by the touchline. It's by the stands because he had his heart surgery. But it's going to be a very tight game to watch, really. I think in a one-all draw here, Barnet's going to get their 4th draw in a row in the league. And Harrogate and Walsall now. Harrogate is concerning now, but they've drawn 1-1 to end their losing streak. But they're down to 22nd because both Crawley and Shrewsbury actually gotten something last weekend, but they aka a better result than them. So yeah, it's concerning for Harrogate as they've dropped down to the bottom 3, and Walsall losing 3 of the last 4 games in the league. Oh my days! It's starting early. They're starting early. They're starting early in this collapse. It's starting early for Walsall, and yeah, but it's gonna be a very tight game to watch. Really, I think Harrogate's gonna get something out of Walsall. It's gonna be another 1-1 draw, and then to probably the most exciting clash of all. Ipswich versus Wrexham. Oh my days, where do we even start? Both teams recently in this decade have witnessed back-to-back promotions, but one witnessed back-to-back promotions, one went back-to-back to relegate. Yeah. We all know who that was. We all know. Yeah, Wrexham are actually in 5, and Ipswich are in 4. Actually, happy days for Ipswich will be in 4, and after 7th. They could go up to 4th if they win. That's their highest they could go. And Wrexham could go up to 7th if they win. And that's their highest position, 7th place. But this is going to be an exciting game to watch, really. Dan Ozea actually got elbowed by Ronaldo. He made Ronaldo got sent off. And he's going to miss the first World Cup match in 2026 Ronaldo. Yeah. And O'Shea, I can't believe he got Ronaldo sent off. I just cannot believe it. And it's not the first time he's done it. So, and yeah, Wrexham. Yeah, we all know in Wales hit 7 past North Macedonia last night, the time I'm recording this. But yeah, England, Wales. I think Ipswich will barely beat Wrexham here, only just. It's going to be an exciting game to watch. I think a 3-2 win to Ipswich for this one. It's going to be an exciting game to watch. And then the Leicester to Stoke now. Ooh! Leicester beaten Ugly 2-1 to get Liam Manning sacked from Ugly. He better wash his hands after he left Carrow Road, Liam Manning. I'm just saying. Or have a 10-hour shower in the shower. Yeah, I'm just stifled. And Stoke lost 1-0 to Coventry in the top 2 clash 2 weeks ago, but they're down to 3rd. I think they will get a win here. It's going to be very, very tight. Leicester will put off a good fight, but I think Stoke's going to score at it quite late. I think a 1-0 win for Stoke City for this one. And then the Oxford and Middlesbrough now. Middlesbrough, Rob Edwards is gone to Wolves, who are rock bottom of the Premier League with no league wins. You went from 2nd place Middlesbrough to 20th place Wolves in the Prem. That's Rob Edwards. And yeah, it's the 2nd time he's tasted Premier League, Rob Edwards. But how will Middlesbrough cope? But I heard the Swedish manager is going to manage Middlesbrough. It's there in talks, but it's going to be a very tight game to watch, really. I think that Oxford will pull off a big upset against Middlesbrough here. I think a 2-1 win to Oxford. But a year ago from that, Oxford got battered 6-2 to Middlesbrough. But it's going to be a different story 304 days later. And then to League One now, and probably a big clash in the top of the table. 4th versus 3rd. Bolton versus Bradford now. Bradford with no wins in 5. Bolton are cooking big time in 4 past Port Vale. And that midfielder, I don't know his name, but it's right here. He is really cooking in the fantasy teams, in the fantasy game, and actually this season. He is genuinely cooking this season. And yeah, this is going to be a quite exciting game to watch, really. I think he's going to carry this game again. I think he's going to be cooking again. I think that Bolton will pull this off against Bradford. I think a 3-1 win to Bolton for this one. Bradford is going to make it no wins in 6 in the league. And then the Barnsley and Luton now. Barnsley entered the bottom half for the first time this season because Burton won 1-0 on the weekend. That's Saturday, because Barnsley didn't play that in the weekend because they had international call-ups. And Luton, I'm quite surprised that the game actually went ahead in the weekend, but drawing 0-0 to Rotherham at Kenilworth Road. So, yeah. Jack Wiltshire hadn't tasted their first goal in Kenilworth Road yet in the league this season. But they're away, but they battered Stockport 3-0 in the last away game. So this could be an interesting game to watch, really. But I think it's going to be a tight game to watch, really. I think the Barnsley will have a good fight, but sadly, at the end of the night, Luton will win here. A 2-1 win to Luton for this one. In the Northampton and Cardiff now. Woo! Cardiff in Wales. Cardiff City Stadium was rocking big time as Wales hit its southern pass North Macedonia, like I said just a few minutes ago. And Northampton are sat 15th place and Cardiff are slipping down. They're down to 5th in the league. But I think that Cardiff will return to winning ways here. It's going to be very, very tight, despite losing 3 on the Blackpool 2 weeks ago. But I think they'll be recovered for this. I think they earned themselves a rest, and I think they'll be back on track. They'll win here, very tight, 2-1 win to Cardiff for this one. In the Manchester and Huddersfield now, both teams are neighbours in the league table, 9th versus 10th. It's going to be a very tight game to watch, really. Last time I think that Huddersfield beat Mansfield here in the last time they met, but yeah, but it's a very tight game to watch, really. They're both neighbours in the league table, but it's going to be very, very tight. I think that Huddersfield will win here, very tight. I think a 1-0 win to Huddersfield for this one, but it'll be very, very tight. And then the Wycombe team and Lincoln now. Ooh, Wycombe and Lincoln, they sound familiar. They sound quite similar, but yeah, it's really very tight game to watch, really. Wycombe is on form. Lincoln, tomorrow night, and by 10 p.m. on Thursday night, they could be sitting top of the table tomorrow at 10 p.m. But who knows, really, on the time. But the time I'm recording this is Wednesday night. But next night, Lincoln could be top of the table at 10 p.m. tomorrow night. The time I'm recording this, who knows, really. It's been a very tight game to watch, really. I think we're going to have goals here. I'm thinking of a 3-2 win to Lincoln. Lincoln is going to be tasting sense of top spot in League 1. And heading down to League 2 now with Cheltenham taking on Bristol Rovers now. Woo! Bristol Rovers has lost 6 in a row in the league. This is worrying times for Bristol Rovers. They are rock bottom in the form table, and Cheltenham lost 2 games in a row in the league. And Cheltenham are back in the bottom 2, and it's going to be a very tight game to watch. They're both really close to each other in the map, so it's going to be a tight derby day at Cheltenham, but it's going to be quite tight. I think there's going to be goals in this match, but I think that Bristol Rovers will end their losing streak in the league. It's going to be goals. I think a 2-2 draw at Cheltenham. Then the Swindon and Grimsby now, Swindon Town. Top of the league, having a laugh. Top of the league, having a laugh. Top of the league. Yeah, the top of the league, Swindon Town. Up to first, 30 points on now. Absolute W, Swindon. Because Walsall lost 2-0 to Colchester in the last weekend. And it's going to be a good game to watch, really. Last time they met, that Grimsby got annihilated by Swindon 4-0 the last time they met. But I remember one year, Swindon floored Grimsby 5-0, but I'm going to have a replay of that again. But Grimsby don't have Pem in goal in this match because Pem has been sent off in the previous game against Chesterfield on Saturday, so it's going to be a different goalkeeper for Grimsby, but it's going to be a very tight game to watch, really. I think Swindon will win this one. I think a 2-0 win to Swindon for this one. They're going to expand the gap on top of the table for Swindon. And the Crawley took Accrington now. Ooh, Crawley. They are now unbeaten in 3 now in the league. Absolute W's to Crawley. And Accrington annihilated Bristol Rovers 3-1 from start to finish. They just went absolutely beautiful. They just went absolute cinema and floored Bristol Rovers. But despite being in 1-1 at the stage, they still floored them 3-1 and at the wham. And yeah, but it's going to be a good game to watch, really. It's going to be a very tight game to watch. Crawley, in the last 2 home games, they've actually ended up winning. So they could throw off their 3rd home win in a row. But who knows, really. But it's going to be a very tight game to watch. I think it's going to be a tight fence. A 1-1 draw for this one. In the Bromley to Salford now. Ooh, it's a good game to watch, really. Bromley are in the playoffs, in the top 5, after beating Barrow 2-1 in the weekend, and Salford are down to 8th. Now they're down to 9th, because they lost to MK Dons on Saturday, and it's going to be a tight game to watch, really. It's going to be a very tight game to watch. It's going to be a very tight fence. I'm thinking of a 1-1 draw for this one. There's going to be a lot of 1-1s this weekend, I can tell, in the EFL. In the Notts County and Colchester now. Whoo! That was a good game to watch, really. Not for Colchester. In their last away match, the journey they had to put up with, their bus broken down 2 times, so they had to finish the journey in a taxi. And then they earned themselves a reward by beating them 2-0. Absolute W's for Colchester, despite having the problems before the match or before getting into the Walsall Stadium. But they went home happily after beating Walsall 2-0. And they're going to go and they're travelling again, but this time to Nottinghamshire for Notts County. But I think they're going to do 2 away wins in a row here. Notts County has got points like Harrogate, but the good thing, they scored quite late, and they got the latest goal in that game. But I really think that Colchester will make it back-to-back away wins here. A 2-1 win to Colchester for this one. Now we are at the Steel City derby at Hillsborough. It's Sunday lunchtime kickoff. Sheffield Wednesday versus Sheffield United. Oh my days. And to make matters worse, they are in the bottom 3 in the Championship. Oh my days, couldn't this not go any better? Oh my days, this could be the top 2 clash. This could have been top 2. That could have been oh my days. It could have been all my days, but it's gonna be a ding moment in Hillsborough and the Steel City derby. So I can't wait for this game to happen. But the last one met, Sheffield United won both meetings last season, winning 1-0. It was very tight. It was very tight. But it's a different outcome this season, because Sheffield United has been horrendous this season. Their starter's been horrendous. Their form is horrendous. They've got more defeats than they had They had more defeats than they already had this time last season by doubled. And for Sheffield Wednesday, this is the best chance to get their second win of the season, really, and their first home win of the season. I think it's going to happen here. A massive win is going to be on the cards for Sheffield Wednesday. It's going to be a 2-1 win to Sheffield Wednesday, and it's going to be absolutely riots and fuming rages at Sheffield United. But yeah, if you're wondering, here's the rest of my predictions and the fantasy team for Gameweek 17 right here. And yep, it's my predictions, and yep, you can comment down below what your predictions will be. And yep, and thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and share. And anyway, see you guys later. Bye.